Hi, I'm Alison from Newcastle Speech Pathology, and in this video we're talking about word detective strategies, or strategies that we can teach our children to use to help them really learn new words in terms of being able to spell and write new words. So these are strategies that we're talking about can be used for any words on their spelling lists. We can use them for what's traditionally known as sight words, or words that are very hard to sound out, but we need to remember what they look like and how we spell them. And we can use these for words that are really quite long and big, and ones that our children might be using in their own stories when they're talking to you, but we want to encourage them to be able to write them down to really add richness to their written work as well. So these are called the word detective strategies. So today's example, we're going to use the word investigate. So I would start by reading the word out for the child, saying investigate. Can you say that word with me? Investigate, and get them to repeat it back. Then I would actually give them a definition of what investigate actually means and relate it to something that they know. So it might be as simple as investigate means to really look deeply into something, or to try and discover something about a situation. It might be like that time when you were investigating the best pair of soccer boots to buy. Something that relates particularly to the child. Or you remember you saw that show on television when they were investigating the natural habitat of wombats. So trying to relate it to something that they know. So already they're starting to form a picture and a memory and perhaps some emotion attached to that word. So we get them to repeat it again. The first step after that is to work out if it's a long word or a short word. So we want to count the number of syllables. Now this can actually be quite tricky even for some parents to work out, because it's often hard to define syllable boundaries. But one great strategy we can use is putting our hand under our chin and count how many times our jaw moves. Now for parents out there, the tip is that every syllable must have a vowel in it. So if we're checking our child's spelling, we've got to check that there's a vowel. And the way we know there's a vowel in it is that when we say a vowel sound, our jaw drops open. So to count our syllables, we can virtually just count our vowels that we've got. So investigate, we've got investigate. So that was four syllables in the word investigate. So you can get your child to put their hand on the chin, do it in front of the mirror, clap out the syllables, investigate. But it is really important that we can actually hear those clear syllable boundaries. Okay, next we're going to get out the paper and the pens. So now we've worked out that there are 4 syllables in investigate, we're going to actually draw some syllable circles. So here we go. We've got investigate. Okay, so that's our 4 circles representing our 4 syllables. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a go at seeing if we can put the right number of sounds in each syllable. So it's important to remember that we're actually talking about sounds and not letters at this point. So here we go. Our first syllable is in. So we've got I, and this is where you're getting your child to help you sound it out. So to sound out investigate is very overwhelming, but we can certainly sound out one syllable at a time. So we've got invest, vest. I wonder what your child can hear. Vest. Right, so we're invest, I. Oh, I. That's just one sound. Investigate. Here we go. G-A-T. So remember, we're doing sounds and not letters at this point. So once we've got to this stage, then we're going to ask our child to actually add some letters in and see if they can match a letter, at least one letter, to each sound. Now, your clever kids will know that some sounds have more than one letter, for example, a sh or a ch, or some of our long vowel sounds. So here we go. Let's see if we could put this word together. So we'll be asking the child to then add some letters. So we go back and say first syllable is in. I, n. Okay, I can hear I, n. Next syllable, vest. V, e, st. Invest, I. That's often a tricky one. We only know it's one sound. So we'd be saying, is that a short vowel or a long vowel sound? It's a short vowel, okay? So really emphasize the I sound so they can hear which letter it might be that makes it. So we're investigate. Okay, here we go.
G-8. All right, so we've got a vowel letter here, but as we know, the vowel letter on its own usually makes a short sound. So this syllable currently reads gat, and we want to turn gat into gate. So this is where we can have a little conversation about what else we would add in to make this at sound say its long name A. So we can go through a few options with our child, but in this particular scenario, mostly they'll say, let's throw the E on the end. And we go, yep, that's right, because those two go together and they make the A sound. So we've done it. We've managed to spell a really long, quite intimidating word, investigate. So then get your child to actually have a go at writing it underneath. Investigate. Get them to read it again. So once we've got to this point, a great way to then solidify this into long-term memory is to get out the Scrabble letters. So Scrabble letters or bananagrams or anything that you have at home are fantastic tools to really help with spelling regular and irregular words as well. So I've got the letters here. I'd be giving them to my child and I say, okay, can you make investigate? And get them to work through the sounds again. So thinking about syllables, in, itten, we've got vest, est, and we've got invest, investi, and then we've got gate. Alrighty, so we've managed to put that back together again. Now to really solidify this, it's really great if the child can, and make it multisensory, to say the letter names as they point to each letter. So we'd be going I-N-V-E-S-T-I-G-A-T-E and backwards E-T-A-G-I-T-S-E-V-N-I. Now the reason we're doing that is we're moving away from talking about sounds at this point, but we're creating another, a memory hook to really solidify what we call the orthographic memory. That's your visual memory for spelling patterns and the way things words actually look. So this is building orthographic memory. When we were working on the sounds and the syllables before, we were doing more about the phonemic memory. This is more about that visual orthographic memory. So we'd be doing that multiple times, going forwards and backwards, saying the letter names. Then what you'd start to do is actually turn over some of the letters, and so you'll see if your child can still keep naming them. So I-N-V-E-S-T-I-G-A-T-E. And you can do that forwards and backwards and keep going until you've turned over all the letters and your child is able to tap out the letters and name them as they go. And then to really make sure we've got that in there nice and solidly, we'd come back to the page or the whiteboard again and actually get them to have another go at writing it and maybe writing it in a sentence. So if you focus on a couple of words a day, perhaps make them up into some little cards, pop them in a box. The next day you might pull out the word investigate because we've already done it, see if they can read it, see if they can write it again, and when they know it really well, you might slip that one out of the pile and add your new ones in. So this is a great strategy. We call this being a word detective, and it's being able to really take a word that they hear and sort of drill down and find out lots of information about the word. The more information they know about the word, the more ways they can lodge it in their memory. And of course, and amongst all of this, we're talking about what investigate might actually mean. So to look into something, to try and discover something. So that's a great tip to get started with your word detective skills.